Basically, it's by age and by if you're a snowboarder or a skier. So we have kids basically 10 and under, 11 to 13, 14 to 17, and then 18 and older. And it's different categories if you're a skier or a boarder in all those age groups.
I was down here earlier setting it up, and it was raining, a little wet, a little bummed out, and then kind of cleared up and started raining again. It turned out to be pretty good. Snow was a bit soft, but it worked. Icy last year, better this year.
Well, we get people all the way from Rupert, and we got the full ski team from Smithers coming. There's over 15 of them, so we get them quite close. Last year we had a few from Houston as well, so it's starting to spread, and people are coming because the prizes are awesome, and it's a great night. They have a lot of fun.
We put lots of work into setting it all up, and I think it always turns out good.
This is my first year. Super fun, super chill, laid back. Oh, it's totally worth coming down here on the drive. Kind of nervous when you're up there and there's a lot of people down there, but you kind of don't notice them when you're going.
Well, to start with, we designed the features trying to build it up. The first idea is speed, so we want to go up in height. After that, we start laying out tiers and shapes depending on our snow level, how much we have. This year we went for sort of a heart design with the two sides, because that's how much snow we have. So then we start top, build the slope coming in, then we start building our platforms where the features themselves are going to go. After that, we measure it, make sure it's all going to fit. We design our runaways, make sure it's all safe, start putting in the features, and then keep digging, build the jumps, and go from there.
They're looking for the completion of a good trick and how they land the trick, and so they have two tries to actually get it right, and that score is put on a score sheet, and then they take the best score at the end of the night.
Snowboarders have a different style. Coming in sideways, you're going to see different tricks, lots more presses, that sort of thing, as you might see. Skiers have a different stance, so you'll see more spins, more that kind of style, because the press is a much more difficult trick on skis.
I start working up with smaller things once I get comfortable on it and figure out my speed and stuff. It's not that bad. I'm not really scared of rails anymore, so I just kind of try new things and hope for the best.
Judges in this event, we're looking a lot for style. We go on a 200-point system, so they do 2 runs, 4 judges. Each judge has a total of 25 points per run. You're looking at roughly 5 points for degree of difficulty, style, overall impression, and technical difficulty.
We usually get started in October is when we start planning, and every year it seems to fall a bit more and more into place, so it's not as difficult, but it starts about 4 months of planning, and the actual design of the rails is changed every year. We always have a different type of design to the hill, so that's always something new for the competitors every year, and we also get different competitors every year. Here we have almost 60 competitors again this year. We had 62 last year, and they're new people. Well, they're similar people, but there's lots of new ones that come out. So.
I'm a dancer with Ballet Jorgen Canada, and we're on tour across Canada performing Swan Lake right now.
I'm actually an apprentice this year. I trained with the company for one other year as a mentorship student, so now I've been hired as an apprentice. As an apprentice, I'm now a professional dancer, whereas before I was a student with the company, so now I'm being paid to do what I love.
Well, Swan Lake is a pretty known ballet, so we've had really great audiences so far. I guess I don't know if it's because of the movie Black Swan or if it's just because it's a pretty compelling story and they've heard of it and they want to see it for themselves, but we've had really great audiences this year.
Most of the dancers in the show will be doing a lot of dancing in tutus and point shoes and so on, whereas the character artists get to wear big, beautiful dresses and walk about the stage and advance the plot and so on. So they're very different roles. As a young dancer, you probably want to be out there fully dancing as a swan. I danced for 20 years with the company, and so I've sort of shifted more into the character roles, and I fully enjoy doing a character role like that because you get to go out, you get to be on stage, you get to enjoy it, but not so much worry about being on point and dancing with everybody else because it's kind of my own character to portray, and it's like a big solo. So.
I'm actually doing the lead role this year, which is pretty exciting. It's my first time doing a principal role, so I'm being the Swan Queen. And in Swan Lake, there's the white swan and the black swan, so the good and evil, and I get to play both roles. So it's a pretty exciting experience, and you have to be really soft and sweet and serene as the white swan, and then seductive and slightly evil as the black swan. So it's quite a range of emotions that you have to explore, and it's also really challenging technically, but it's very fun.
Last year, I got to travel mostly within Ontario, so this is actually my first time out west, and I'm really enjoying it here, especially in the rural areas, and being able to travel through the mountains and everything is really great.
It's really fun to go to new places. I've never been up here before. I lived in Vancouver for 8 years, but I never came this far north. So it's really neat to see new places and meet the people in different cities and towns. And a lot of the times, after a show, you get to speak with the audience. It's really amazing to hear how much they appreciate getting ballet right in their hometown. So it's pretty special.
The routine that we use for getting the roles is we have some basic criteria when it comes to our costumes, right? So we have some measurements that need to take place, as well as some age groups that we make suggestions around what's going to be required. The local dance teachers recommend students based on that criteria. So they might submit, names of maybe up to 10, 15, 20 different students, and then me as the education manager, I'll take a look at all of the criteria and try to balance it out to try to give everybody, as many people as I can, a role in the show. And then in the rehearsal that you're seeing now is when I take that final group. Maybe I chose about 12 to 14 out of the submissions, and now I work with them to figure out which role each one of them is going to do in the show. And then they each get a role, and they'll go on stage, and they're expected to do exactly what they've learned and contribute to the show, and make it as magical as it can be for the audience that's going to see it.
A lot of the times people have never even seen ballet where we go, so it's really nice that they get that opportunity. And it's not like a huge theater where the tickets are close to $200. We are able to perform in venues where we can sort of reach the public at an affordable price and sort of bring them culture and art that they can actually access.
Honestly, it's my favorite thing. Over the years, I've performed in Toronto, I've performed in New York City, but when I get the chance to go to a smaller community and really, give that chance for people to see what I do and share it in person, because the experience of a live performance is just incomparable to anything that you can see on television or in films, and the appreciation that you can feel from an audience in that environment is full-hearted, and it's such a pleasure when you're on stage and you feel that warmth and passion coming from the audience, just in the sheer appreciation and excitement to have a dance company come and perform right there in their stage, in their community, and also involving the local students. There's again another connection for those students to see what it takes to be a dancer and what it takes for us to put on a show like we do, and they can share that with their community beyond just seeing the show, but seeing what happens backstage.
We have an acting coach that coaches us back in Toronto, and so it's similar to sort of theater acting, except instead of using your words, it's all relying on body gestures and body movement and facial expression. And yes, since there's the lights that sort of dull everything and they're further away, we have to make everything a little bit more exaggerated than you would for, say, TV acting. But it's a similar sort of thing, just sort of bigger and more exaggerated.
I think it's a challenge in so many ways, and it's exciting to do something that, you never know what's going to happen from day to day, really. It's always an adventure.
I think I've been here, it's my 4th time to Terrace. I always enjoy coming up to this community. I've not had occasion to come here except with the ballet company, and so pleased every time the welcoming spirit of everybody to have the show here and to have us as people come and learn about being here in northern BC and everything that comes with a community like Terrace, Prince Rupert, Kitimat. It's wonderful to be here.
guys have known each other since we were like 5 or 6, but it's our bassist that we met a long time ago, and then we forgot about him, and then re-met him just this summer.
It's getting more experimental as we go on. Because once we get more fluidity in the music, we have more.
Yeah, get more confident in just regular, you know, any kind of type of music that we can.
We're becoming better musicians.
It was kind of like me and Eli kind of jammed on it, and then it was like about a week or 2 before we played together again, and then I'd pretty much forgotten everything because there's no way I could listen to it or practice it or anything. But then we just kept playing and playing until I pretty much remembered everything, and it all worked out great. We started feeding off each other. Now we write stuff together, and every time something new comes up, we all have input. It's not like one person writes a song. It usually starts with one person, and then everybody throws in their 2 bits, and it's what makes a band and what makes songs what they are.
My parents got my kit when I was about 5 years old, and you could say I've been playing since then, but really I've been playing seriously. It's hard to say because we get more serious every year.
Like 3 years ago.
And so like 3 years ago, you could say I started playing drums, or not started, but getting seriously into drums.
It was weird for me because I'd been used to me and Simon were just a duo, and I was the guitar player and singer, and he was the drummer, and I had never had to discuss what key we were in. Didn't have to discuss what the order of the song was, and now Stephen was in there, and then at first it was kind of like, oh, I'm not sure if I like this, but once Stephen got the songs, once he played through them and practiced them and came back and played them with us, oh, it sounded wonderful. It was a great sound. We're finished the CD, but there was just a couple of mistakes that were on my part on the album, and we just have to pencil them in just on the inside flat, and then they'll be ready to distribute. I'm part of SOCAN, which is the Songwriters Corporation of Canada, and they help out musicians from all over Canada. And then I was on their website once, and it said, "Join BC's top best band competition." But BC's top teen band competition, and then I clicked on it, and then it just like, why not? Why? I mean, we're the age. We're interested.
And like you said, like we've played lots of gigs, but having a competition and seeing other teen bands in BC, that's like to have a competitiveness to it. That makes it more experience to.
Especially from being here, because I mean, there's not tons of other teen bands from around here, like really serious teen bands. I mean, there's a couple, but I mean, being part of this competition, you really get to see what BC's got in terms of BC's teen bands. So
talent.
Yeah, it's cool to be in a competition because, I mean, in a sense, it makes you work harder. It sees what else is out there, and it just pushes you further. We opened for Trooper at the beginning of September. So we opened up for Trooper, and we've
played late night at the Kitimat Valley Music Festival. That was a really big one.
Yeah.
Probably like the most thing I'm proud of.
Yeah.
Proud of now.
And yeah, when we opened for Trooper, that was to like 3,500, 3,000 people in Telqua. That's a good show. That's the whole part about being in a band. You feed off each other, you feed off the energy, you feed off everything, you feed off the crowd. Having a live performance, it's like you're creating something on stage, and every single night it plays different.
Well, when my mountain co-op took over, they took over an aging mountain. Having a signed purchase agreement is only one step to having this mountain be sustainable. Obviously, snowcat is one of the issues that we need to improve. The lift line, the cable that actually carries the chairs, is needed to be replaced and will be replaced this summer, as well as the clamping mechanisms for the chairs. And those are just three big ticket items that are essential to keeping this mountain going. Along with that, we have an aging day lodge, aging generators. You know, there are many, many improvements that need to be made to be able to keep this mountain sustainable for the long term. As a co-op, and with the community support and the regional support helping, there's no limits to what we can do and to our ability to be able to make this mountain sustainable. It was clear that we needed a new machine. Our old machine was getting to end of life. So we ended up speaking with Prinoth and buying this new BR 350, 2007. Prince Rupert Port Authority came out quite big and gave a donation of $50,000 to co-op to help us replace some of our aging infrastructure, and snowcat was one of them.